Hello everybody and welcome to today's episode of the Pritchard Cycling News Show. Bit of a clickbaity title, I don't care. Bit of a clickbaity thumbnail, I don't care. Because I'm not saying all cyclists are idiots. But the first news story we're going to talk about today is the scenes that we saw yesterday across Twitter from Richmond Park. I mean, if you've not seen it, just take a look at this. Now, anybody would be forgiven for thinking that this might be last year on the Easter bank holiday weekend. Or maybe it was during the summertime last year when everyone was carefree, had no restrictions, and were just enjoying a lovely sunny Sunday. But no, in the midst of a pandemic, when the government have told us all to stay indoors as much as you can, I mean, what the hell? Cyclists trending on Twitter, Richmond Park trending on Twitter. I just don't know what to say about it. I mean, if you are watching this now and you're one of those people in Richmond Park, you will be responsible, probably for infecting someone, but also when this government decides to shut down the country and they say no exercise, no leaving your house, no going in your back garden, lock your doors, board up your windows, it's probably going to be down to you and the fact that you just couldn't resist going out on a local club ride. I mean, come on. I'm not preaching, I'm really not. But you're not helping yourselves. You're not helping everybody else. All right, and yeah, before you carry on and go and check my Strava, yeah, I did go out for a ride yesterday. But one, I went alone, like the government suggests. Two, I made sure I was on very quiet roads. So one, I didn't really see anybody. I think I saw probably one or two cyclists. And two, I think I maybe saw 2 or 3 cars. So the reduction in risk of me getting hit or injured was dramatically reduced. I tried to take precautions wherever I could. But these people, they're giving us all a bad name. It's going to be down to them why we get put in isolation full time on a main lockdown. And I know a lot of people ain't going to agree with me and you're probably going to have some serious words to say. I don't care. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think about this small yet big group that decided to gather, all probably individually or one or two in pairs, but then congregated in a large group. That was a large group. And not only that, obviously you had walkers there as well. You had, look at the amount of traffic that was there as well. I just don't get it. Why is it so hard for people just to stay at home? Anyway, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think to these people. Next up, let's talk Olympics, and technically they should only be around the corner now. All these athletes should be gearing up, getting themselves prepared to take on the Olympic challenge, to potentially win an Olympic gold medal, but everybody's just stood in limbo at the minute. Are the Olympics going to be, I mean, they are going to be cancelled, postponed, that's absolutely no doubt. But why the Olympic Committee haven't made that announcement yet and let everybody know is, well, it's obviously down to money and sponsorship, it has to be. So you've got all these athletes who have been, on one hand, told, hey, stay indoors, don't go out. And then on the other hand, you've got the Olympic Committee saying, well, the games aren't off yet, so you better keep training. Like, what do these athletes do? A lot of countries and a lot of governing bodies have said, oi, postpone it, get it postponed now. But they're still not committed, and they said we need another 4 weeks before we can officially commit one way or the other, whether we postpone it, cancel it, or whatever actually happens. It's not going to go ahead though. I can guarantee you that it is not going to go ahead. And yeah, the Olympics, one of the only sporting events that brings the whole world together.
And guess what, Olympics?
The whole world's already been brought together by something way bigger than you. And we need to get through this before we even think about the Olympics. And that's as a fan, and probably athletes, they probably think the same as well. I'm no athlete, but they probably think the same. Egan Bernal, Tour de France winner in 2019, even came out and said he thinks the Olympics should be postponed. During a live training session that was streamed on Facebook, the Colombian said, at the present time, given the global situation linked to the coronavirus, I think that the Olympic Games should not be organised on the dates that they were planned. Personally, I'm for a postponement of a few months and to organise them next year. All we can do now is stay home to deal with the coronavirus, because this threat is far more important than Tour de France and Olympics. So it's interesting there that Egan Bernal even mentioned the Tour de France in that, saying that this thing's bigger than the Tour de France, it's bigger than the Olympics. And you can't help thinking, if the Olympics are going to be cancelled, surely the Tour de France has to be cancelled. And it makes you think, when are we actually going to see some sport again? There's talks of potentially football coming back in the coming weeks, probably not here in the UK, but being played behind closed doors, that could potentially happen. But it just shows you, like, sport, it's not the be all and end all in the world. There are bigger things going off in the world than sport, but it just shows you how integral sport is to people's lives and how it can make a difference in somebody's life by, even if you're just a fan, just uplifting your spirits to be able to watch these elite athletes compete at the highest level, to inspire younger generations. Like, is there going to be a knock-on effect by this Olympics potentially being cancelled? You're not going to get that younger generation like I did in 92, 96. When you watch these athletes compete at the highest level and you're inspired to go and do that, and then it produces these Olympic champions in years to come, are we going to see an increase in babies? You know, because lots of that going off. And are we going to see a decrease in Olympic athletes and more people who become professional cleaners or something? I don't know. Let me know down in the... I mean, you can let me know in the comments, but I think we all know what's going to happen. 1, Tour de France is going to be cancelled. 2, Olympics is going to be postponed / cancelled. 3, Egan Bernal becomes like the longest ever winner of one tour, really, doesn't he? Because no one can win it in 2020, so... He's come 2021, he's still Tour de France champion. Transition. Next up, and obviously we've seen lots of events being cancelled, from professional racers to sportives. British Cycling have put a restriction on all their events going ahead. But one event that's caused a bit of a stir and a bit of annoyance within the community, Velo, Birmingham and Midlands, who have just cancelled their event. And in their statement, they wrote this. Now, I'm not going to read the whole statement, but it starts with: a heavy heart that we announced the cancellation of Velo Birmingham and Midlands 2020. The event was due to take place on June 21st, at which time we are still likely to be significantly impacted by current coronavirus outbreak. And then it just goes on just to try and tug on the heartstrings, basically, of the people reading it, until you get to this point here. In common with virtually every other event organiser and business in the UK, whilst we carry extensive business disruption and event cancellation insurance, none of these policies cover the unprecedented circumstances of the current outbreak of COVID-19. In addition to losing our forecast revenue for the next 3 months, over the last 10 months we have already committed a huge amount of prepaid staging, logistical and staffing costs towards this year's events, which are now unrecoverable. Put plainly, refunding participant entry fees now is not something our business could absorb. Essentially saying, you're not having your money back. No postponement. No, we're very sorry, we'll try and carry these over to next year's event. And as you can imagine, internet being internet, over on their Facebook page, a lot of people getting angry. 1.2 thousand comments on this post, pretty much all saying the same thing. Luke Patterson here saying, very poor decision made keeping the money, you'll soon go bust and no one will want to support a company that doesn't give back to the community in times like this. Paul Aston, read your T's and C's, you covered your arses, C word. Glad I did the last one, glad I'm not doing this one, hope your business dies right here, you don't belong in cycling. Thanks, cyclists everywhere. I mean, I could go on and read all 1,200 comments, but they all pretty much say the same thing, that they are not going to be dealing with this company again. Velo Essex is still scheduled to go ahead, whether that will or not, who knows. But Birmingham Velo, Birmingham Midland, whatever it's, I don't care, whatever it's called, is not going ahead. There seems very little compassion out of this company in that statement for the people who have paid their hard-earned money to be part of this event. Another company getting it totally wrong. Yeah, maybe you couldn't give them a full refund, but could you try partial refunds? Could you ask them to get in touch with you and see how their specific situation can be resolved? Because I'm sure there are people out there who had enough money who, if you approach them and said, we're very sorry, we can't afford to give you a refund, potentially some people might have said, well, that's okay, because I want to support the community, I want to support the business. And then they could have gone to people who were really struggling, who got an entry in, and said, listen, we'll give you a full refund. We can't do this for everybody, but based on your personal circumstances, we think we should be able to give you a refund, and tried to have done it that way. Yeah, it might have cost some man hours and a bit of time, but not even willing to look at how you can try and assist people. Literally just saying, poor us, we've paid out a lot of money, and because of that, you're not having your money back. Meh, poor us. Nah. And lastly, here on the show, we're going to talk about Zwift and the definite changes that are going on there. Massive reorganisation coming out of Zwift at potentially the worst time ever. Over on DC Rainmaker's Twitter, he tweeted out this. On Friday, Zwift did a significant reorganisation which results in layoffs. According to various industry folk who were notified, these layoffs included heads of running, global business development, partnerships, and within esports team. Attached is a full Zwift statement. And in the Zwift statement, they say Zwift have implemented difficult but important changes to reorganise the business. These are strategic changes that have been made to better support the continued growth and development of the core subscription business and to allow us to develop new hardware. These are not decisions resulting from external circumstances. Zwift remains healthy as a business, and we firmly believe these changes will result in a better product for our Zwift community. Over on Ray's blog, link down in the description for that, you can go and get a more in-depth look at exactly what's happening right now. Obviously the esports side of Zwift has only just really begun. They look like they were making headway in putting on these events and really trying to legitimise esports within Zwift, and eventually, I guess, take that to the Olympics, which is exactly where they want to be with it. They want an Olympic event on Zwift. Again, made no secrets about it, but by getting rid of people within esports, is that really pushing that forward? Have they looked at that now and gone, right, it's not going to be as lucrative as we thought, or we're getting into it too early? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below what you think to this one. I can't believe I'm actually going to say this, but is this potentially the end of Zwift, or is this merely the start? Now they've been able to get rid of the people that they don't need anymore, really double down on that hardware and that community to try and drive those subs up. I don't know, is it the start of something fresh from Zwift, or is it the start of the end from Zwift? Leave your comments down below. And there you go, that's pretty much the news from today. If you've enjoyed the show, hit that like button. If you've disliked the show, hit that dislike button. But above all, hit that subscription button and that notification bell. With things changing daily here in the UK and across the world, you might just need a release, a little getaway from everything, and hopefully we can provide it here across the YouTube. So we're going to be doing some more live streaming. Hopefully we're going to be doing some events that we can all ride in together. So above all, make sure you hit that notification bell and that subscription button so you know when we go live with our live videos. Other than that, all that's left to say is I was going to say tar and thanks for watching, but it just came out as tar. So thanks for watching. Until next time, Side. Ish.